Hello, everyone. I'm Whitney Harkin, licensed clinical social worker and therapist at Resolve Counseling. I wanted to just spend a few moments talking about how to manage our mental health during a crisis. We are flooded with ideas and tips on how to wash our hands and sanitize our houses and our whole communities, but we're left having, I think, a harder understanding of how do we manage our mental health during a really stressful time. So I just want to start out and say that I think everyone's anxiety is heightened right now, and that is so normal and to be expected. So a couple things to kind of help us manage our mental health, right? So think about this as hand washing, but for your mental health. And the first one is to try and keep a routine. And you probably heard tidbits about this, but it's so important to feel that we have control over our daily life and what we're doing every day when everything around us feels really out of control. So, very important to stick to a routine and schedule with some flexibility in that. So, sometimes what can happen is we get overly structured when we feel like we can't manage other things outside of our home or ourselves. So have some flexibility in that. So have a plan for the day, have a structure set out, but be willing and try to be okay with deviating from that a little bit. That's okay. The second one would be to limit social media time. Any part of our phone that we're getting flooded with the crisis, right? To put limits on yourself. I say never more than 30 minutes. Our brain can't handle more than that. It's too much. So it's really important to put limits on yourself, even if that's setting a timer on your phone of, nope, gotta cut it off. I'm gonna go get fresh air. I'm gonna go watch a show that makes me laugh. I'm gonna go message my coworker about something we need to do. I'm going to go do this activity with my kiddo, whatever it is, but having limits on ourselves in what we're getting inundated with and what we're feeding our brains. So it's important to get the information, but in small doses. The next thing is to remember that what recharges you has not changed. Just because we're in crisis, just because our world feels different, it doesn't mean that we as people are different in what fuels us. So if reading a book recharges you, then make sure you're making time to read that book. If connecting with your girlfriends and talking about all of life things recharges you, then make sure you're doing that. We just have to be creative in how we do it now. So it might be over Zoom, it might be over FaceTime, it might be email or Instagram, whatever you do, but make sure that you're doing what you normally do to recharge your battery. Um, if we are not taking care of ourselves first, then we cannot, it is humanly impossible to take care of the people that we love if we are running on empty. So that's really important. The other one is to stay connected. I have been amazed by people around the world connecting to each other. It's actually kind of a beautiful thing to see. We are all connected on a whole new level that we never have been before. But it's also really hard to kind of have that sense of like, oh, I don't want to bug that person, or I'm sure that they're busy because they're working from home or they're home with their kiddos now. I don't want to bug them. So I'm going to just kind of stay here. That can lead to isolation. So be careful about that. And remember that if you think that that person that you care about, you don't want to bug them, they also need to feel connected. Everybody wants to feel that they matter to someone, that someone's thinking about them. And so don't be afraid to reach out and make those connections and keep those connections going. We just have to be a little bit more creative about how we do it. And obviously using technology to do that is awesome. Writing letters. If you have kiddos, write letters and go put them in your neighbors' mailboxes saying, just thinking about you. There's all different ways that we can stay connected. And social media is really helping with that. Lots of ideas on there as well. The last kind of suggestion tip I have is to be careful of the shoulds, I like to call it, right? So if you find yourself at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, saying, oh man, I should have done this, I shouldn't have done this. Anytime we catch ourselves saying should, usually that means that we are wanting to do or feeling like we need to be doing something for other people. not what really is true to who we are. So whenever you're thinking that thought, I want you to replace it with a I want or I need, and then fill in the blank with that. If that makes sense, if that works, then I think that that's authentic thing that you want or need to do. But if it doesn't make sense, when you replace that with I want or I need, most likely it's a sign that you're feeling the drive to do it for someone else. And that's not going to re-energize you. That's not going to help you through this time. So if you're feeling like, oh, I should start that new diet. I'm home, why not? Should you? Or I should be working out every day and do one of those at-home workouts that I see people doing. Should you? What do you need to do? What do you want to do? Right? Do you want to start that hobby that you've been thinking about for years? Or do you want to learn how to use your sewing machine that you've never gotten out of the box? Right? Do you need to go get some fresh air? Do you need to go for a walk and recharge your battery? Those are very different than the I should based on what other people are doing. So, really important during this time so that we feel that we're taking care of ourselves, so we can take care of those around us. And remember that we truly are all in this together. We are all on the same page in the need to take care of ourselves, manage our mental health, and this will this will get better. Um, so thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Have a good one.